Hey there, Skeleton Key here, and welcome to my Superb Owl Sunday party. Got my owl gear on, Marshall Owls, yay! What's it, 1986 state champions? Yay. Um, Although, I mean, I think it's technically regarded as I think the official record is that it was a tied game, but even Camdenton was like, yeah, you won. But yeah, anyway, welcome back to my channel. And whether you're watching live or whether you are watching the replay, and or whether you're just popping in between sports ball sessions. um, Honestly, I'm peeking at the scoreboard every now and then. It frankly doesn't look too exciting, although Kansas City needs to get with it, apparently. Yeah, because San Francisco is ahead, and I have to admit, when unless the Chiefs are playing the Broncos, in which it's like, no, I'm not, no. Uh, but I gotta cheer for the Chiefs. But yeah, it looks like they're stuck near the end of the second quarter right now. But yeah, so today we're going to be having little reading sprints, and you can tell me what you all are reading. And yeah, and I will be doing some reading and also some just like sorting out my office right now, because it right now it looks like an office supply store and a bookstore mated and then exploded, because it's kind of a scattered mess. So I'll probably be doing a little bit of organizing during the sprints. And let's see, I've got a book handy. Well, I've got lots of books handy, but I am going to start off reading New Orleans Morning by Julie Smith, and this is for the Mardi Gras readathon that is still going on for a few more days. It ends on Mardi Gras, the 13th. And I'm almost out of dip. Made short work of the dip. It looks awful, but it tastes really good. It's got lots of cheese in it. That makes a huge difference. And I've got my corn chips. And yeah, so I'm set to go. Let's see. So yeah, I think I will just get into it, and we can start with a reading sprint. So I will put a timer up on the screen. So that. So yeah, let's just start with 15 minutes. I think I've got it set. There we go. Okay, 15 minutes are up. And so Brian says, I heard on the internet today that today is Super Bowl Sunday, the big sports ball game between the San Francisco Taylors and the Kansas City Swifts. Sounds about right. Yeah, so I haven't looked in on the game itself, just been checking the scores now and then. Let's see. Oh, it's halftime. So, yeah, everyone's probably over watching the halftime show. But yeah, I'm really enjoying this. It's a murder mystery set in New Orleans. And I picked it up several weeks ago and started it, but I decided to just go ahead and start over tonight because I was like, oh, I can't remember how far I was. Yeah, my bookmark fell out. So it's just, I'll just start over. So I'm just at the very beginning, still in the first chapter. And I don't think anyone's died yet. No one's died yet at this point. At least not that we know of. Maybe they're dead and we just haven't found the body yet. I don't know. Let's see. So, Brian, what are you reading? Or did you wander away from the screen? Oh. Anyway, yeah, I've got a bunch of stuff to do. So yeah, I'll probably in this next sprint, I'll probably finish off my dip and start organizing a few things. Start trying to put things where I can at least find them. And if Brian doesn't want to tell us what he's reading, we can just start another sprint. So here we go, another 15 minutes. Okay, that's 15 minutes. And yeah, so I've got the little birds chirping thing with a cuckoo in the background. I couldn't find anything with an owl hooting. That would have been nice for Superb Owl Sunday. But yeah, so kind of I did manage to get a little bit of space cleared off of my desk so I can do a little bit more work. And yeah, I've had several projects going and just, yeah, everything just kind of spread out and took over. But yeah, some of that is coming to a close. So trying to get everything all separated out into neat little files and everything. And one thing that I'm hoping to work on tonight a little bit is doing a little bit of planning for my March reading. See if I found a couple of readathons I want to do. Can't do too many though, because that just gets overwhelming. But let's look at the scores. So yeah, at some point in the second quarter, Kansas City actually scored 3 points. So yay. But yeah, it's still halftime. And I don't know how long the halftime show is supposed to be. No idea. But I am looking at a couple different readathons for March. One of them is the middle grade March. I've done that one before. I don't have kids, so I don't just naturally read a lot of middle grade books. But I do have some friends who write for middle grade, and so I've enjoyed reading those, and I'll put those in, slot those in for this. So yeah, I think Fleur has Fleur Bradley. I think she's got one out that I haven't read. I don't think she's got a new one this year, but I think last year she got one out, and I haven't had a chance to read that, so I'll probably search for that one. But yeah, I've been looking at the prompts, and they've got a group read, The Mona Lisa Vanishes by Nicholas Day, and that sounds interesting. It is about the actual theft of the Mona Lisa. And then they've got the other prompts, and I've got all but one of them figured out. So one word title, I do have, because I've got a bunch of little freebie things from Audible. It used to be they would do a First Friday thing, and now that I've dropped down to the half price membership, which they call it Audible Plus, and it's Audible minus is what it is, because you don't get any credits. You pay it's like $8 or something like that a month, and you don't get any credits with that like you do with the regular Audible membership, and like I do with Libro. I'm much more a fan of Libro FM, but they have the Plus catalog, which is a bunch of those Audible exclusives and things like that, which are hit or miss, and sometimes they're actually really good. But they're there, and so sometimes there's some middle grade books, audiobooks there. And so one of them is Stuck by Chris Grabenstein. And that's a one-word title. And I think it has something to do with being stuck in time or repeating time. It might be I think it's a time loop book, if I recall correctly. And then the second prompt is to read a debut. And so I found Viva Durant and The Secret of the Silver Buttons, and that's another Audible. I think it's an Audible original, and I do have that one, and I looked, and that is that, and I forgot the author's name, but that is her debut. And the fourth prompt is Animal on the cover, and The Weirdies Get Weirder, which is a sequel to The Weirdies, which I really enjoyed. Again, another Audible thing. And it has some raccoons on the cover. That's fun. And then a book you feel like you missed out on. And I know I've got Bridge to Terabithia. Or is it Terabithia? I don't know. Maybe I'll have to get an audiobook version, but I do have a paperback sitting on my shelves. And yeah, if you know how it's pronounced, please let me know. Yeah, hop in and let me know how to pronounce Terabithia or Terabithia, or how, I don't know how to pronounce that. Catherine Patterson, I think, is the author on that. And, it's a classic. I think it won a Newbery or something. And it's, it was a children's book when I was a child. So I feel like I probably ought to have read that. And yes, I have been warned that I will be very upset with the ending. And I don't want spoilers. But yeah, I do know that I will probably cry at the end. Honestly, it doesn't take a lot to make me cry. I'm a pushover. But the prompt that I don't have a book lined up for yet is Immigration or Refugee Story. So a middle grade book about an immigrant or a refugee. And I know there are lots of good ones out there. I just don't know anything specific about them. Oh, Brian thinks last week he was reading Demon's Daughter. Okay. All right. Yeah, that sounds right. I was talking to someone today who was reading Demon's Daughter. That's the latest, that Lois McMaster Bujold, and that's the latest in the Penrick. What is it, Penrick series? Yeah, I was in a Zoom book club earlier today, and there was somebody really highly recommending anything by that author, but specifically the series of novellas. So you're in good company there. But yeah, for immigration and refugee stories, yeah, I've seen like lots of mentions of good middle grade books with those topics, but I don't know anything. I haven't seen anything that really says what specifically they're about, so I need to do a little bit of research on that. But if you've got any recommendations, yeah, pop those into the chat or the comments if you're watching this later. And so yeah, so I definitely have 5 books lined up for March, but those are middle grade books, and those are usually pretty quick reads, so yay. And I may not get through all of them, and that's okay. And the other one, and yeah, this is going to be tough to fit stuff in, but this is the 9th annual March Mystery Madness readathon, the entire month of March, but it has 9. Yeah, so we're going to the 9s. And of course, it's to read mysteries, and there are prompts, and there are 9 prompts. And yeah. So I haven't even started looking at those yet to see what I'm already reading that would fit in there. If I can find a middle grade mystery. That might work. And then I can, yeah, have some crossover there. But anyway, that's going to be a little bit of what I'm working on now that I actually have some room here. But let's go. Oh, halftime is over. We're in the third quarter, and nothing new is points wise. So there. So let's see. Let's go. Okay, let's just go 30 minutes this time. A little bit extra time. There we go. Okay, we are back after 30 minutes. Let's check the scores real quick. Oh, Kansas City made 3 more points, so they're not quite as far behind. Still in the third quarter. So, yeah, there's our sports ball update. And oh, well, I got a little bit of work done. I think I figured out what I'm going to read for one of the prompts for March Mystery Madness. Oh, joy. The lag is back. Don't know why. Just randomly yeah. Okay. The one of the prompts is, it just says one for Janelle. And Janelle was a March Mystery Madness host in years past. And she passed away in 2023. And so, and she was on YouTube. She was too fond of books. And that was her channel was Too Fond of Books SJH. That's the tag that you would use to get there. And it's still up, so you can watch her videos and see what books she recommends. So you're supposed to read one of the books that she loved too much. And so she also used to be part of the Christie's Missing Challenge that I did in December, and over the dates that Christie disappeared. And one of the prompts was to read one of the Agatha Christie novels that was one of her favorites. And I had hoped to read Why Didn't They Ask Evans, because that is one that she had listed as a favorite. And I did not get around to it. So I'm going to put that one down for this and see what I need to read to get up to that one. I think Lord Edgware Dies, and maybe finish out Hound of Death, which is a short story collection. And then I think maybe it might be after that. I'll have to double check my list and see where I am in the chronological Christie challenge. And that's sort of an infinite challenge that I am doing. I hate it when it does the lag like this. And it just seems to be random. It was doing fine, and then it lagged for a bit, and now it seems to be better. I'm not sure why. Okay. So yeah, I'm going to write that one down. Why didn't they ask Evans? I recall liking that one, but I don't remember enough about it to be spoiled exactly. So that's the nice thing about having read these books like when I was 8 or 9, because then I can read them again, and it's been 40 some years, so sure. And then let's see, just kind of start brainstorming a little bit and see. One is Dressed to the Nines, so formal clothes on the cover. So I'm sure I've got a lot of things that are like set in the 1920s, stuff like that, because usually they've got people all dressed up for fancy events on the cover. 999, which is a British mystery. So I'm sure I have plenty of those. 9 Lives, cat on the cover. I have a lot of those. That will not be difficult. 911, first responder story, such as firefighter or EMT. that might be a little more difficult. Because I remember I did another challenge, was it last year or the year before, one of Farinay's challenges, and the prompt was to read a book featuring a first responder, and they said cops don't count. So I did find a historical fiction book featuring one character who was a doctor, like in Doctors Without Borders kind of organization. And then it was a dual timeline. And in the war timeline, one of the characters was an ambulance driver. So what was the title of that one? The Keeper of Memory? No. The Keeper of Happy Endings, maybe. I'll have to look that one up, see if I can figure out what one that was. Is it a mystery, though? I know it's historical fiction. It's not really a mystery. All right, let's see, the 9 patch quilt on the cover. So I know I have several books in, was it Erlene Fowler's series? The sleuth is a quilter, and I think runs a museum of quilting art, fiber art, that sort of thing. 9 in title or on the cover. That shouldn't be too difficult. I mean, I've got 9th house. I could reread 9th house. But that's not 9. That's 9th. The ordinal. 9th in series. Ooh. Where is Margaret Mizushima in her series? I haven't really been counting. I need to look and see if we're to the 9th book yet, or if that one's coming out later this year. I need to read. I'm behind on that series, the Canine series. Oh, hey, any other 9, any tie-in with 9, such as page count, year published, number of chapters. So a canine book. So I could read Standing Dead, and if it is the 8th book in the series, I forget where it is. I'll have to count. Then the 9th book, but it won't come out till later, unless I can get Margaret to send me an arc. I don't know if an arc would be ready yet in March. I'm not sure what the release date is even, but the next book then might be the 9th. That's something to think about. But yeah, the 9th in a series. I'm sure I can find other series where I'm about to the 9th book, hopefully. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I'm gonna research on that a bit while we do another one. Oh, we're still in the 3rd quarter. Oh, the Chiefs made 7 points because they had 3. So yeah. So Chiefs are leading 13-10. Yay. They might just get that parade they're talking about. I forget how much Brad said it was going to cost. It was, yeah, they're already planning the victory parade and letting the school kids out because, education, who cares? Yeah, there's quite the controversy over the stadium in Las Vegas, and spending all that money on that new stadium and not spending money on school lunches for kids. And I guess Las Vegas has been really not spending money on schools and education much at all lately. And so there's a lot of people upset about that, which is perfectly understandable. But yeah, Kansas City is in the lead. They may just win, but there's a whole nother quarter after this one, and they still have several minutes left in this quarter. So let's go another 30 minutes on this one. There we go. Alrighty, 30 minutes. Okay, that's another 30 minutes. And let's see. It's tied 16-16. And, well, how'd y'all do? I got a little bit of research done. Oh, it's counting down. No, it stopped again. Okay. 3 minutes and 27 seconds left. This may actually turn out to be a nail biter. Who knows? But I did find out that Poirot, the 9th book in the Poirot series, is Lord Edgware Dies. And I think that's what I have up next for Christie. And also the 9th book in Erlene Fowler's Benny Harper series, with quilts on the cover, is Steps to the Altar. And apparently that's where I am in the series. And I supposedly own a copy of that somewhere. So, yeah, we'll find that. And so that's for the quilt on the cover prompt. 9 and title are on the cover. I haven't really looked for that. Standing Dead is the 8th book in the series, and there does not appear to be a release date yet for the 9th book. I've seen the title somewhere, but I can't recall what it is. But chances are I will not be able to get a copy of that before the before this readathon ends at the end of March. So yeah, but Lord Edgware Dies, but Standing Dead is a canine mystery, so Timber Creek Canine series, so I can count Standing Dead for that. So let's see, cat on the cover, dressed to the nines. Let's see what other books I'll be reading in March. I don't know anything about Daughters of the Deer or The Woman in the Dunes, but I know there's not a cat on the cover of either of those. So, Giovanni's Room, don't know anything about that. Body Horror, I probably, with that being the actual title, chances are I will skip that one. Recipes for Love and Murder. Let's take a look at that. So here, yeah, I was looking at the Benny Harper series. So Fool's Puzzle, I've read. I haven't marked these as read because apparently I haven't, I read those before I was on Goodreads, so I haven't put them on here. So, and that was in 2009? So it's been a long time since I've read any of these. So I've read up through book 8, Arkansas Traveler. So Steps to the Altar is next. And supposedly I have a copy somewhere. And I also have Sunshine and Shadow, apparently, somewhere. But we want to look at Recipes for Love and Murder by Sally Andrew. A Tanny Maria mystery. I do not see a cat on the cover. What about other covers? No. It's all about cooking and murder. Does look interesting. Tanny Maria writes recipes for a column in her local paper, the Klein Carew Gazette. So where's the set? Does it say? Oh, Sally Andrew lives in the Klein Carew, South Africa, with her partner. And other wildlife, including a giant eland and a secretive leopard. Yeah, okay. So, yeah, South Africa, cozy mystery. Delicious blend of intrigue, milk tart, and friendship. So, milk tart, I've seen recipes for milk tart and it looks wonderful. Wonder if this includes a recipe for milk tart. That would be lovely. Of course, I get the diet ad for the cook, the foodie book. Yay, of course. But there's no cat on the cover. Does not appear to be a first responder story of any kind. It's not a British mystery. And doesn't appear to be any formal wear on the cover. So, oh gosh. Hmm. Yeah, I think I'm out of luck on that. Oh, let's see. No, there's still almost 2 minutes left. Yeah, football time is different from regular time. Hmm. Yeah, I think I am just going to have to just do some exploring of my shelves, my physical shelves, and just look at covers and see what I can come up with that way. I mean, I've got enough books on my wall of shame that surely I have things that will fit this on that wall. So, but if not, I have plenty of other walls of books and, stacks and piles and boxes of books. Yeah. So I'm sure I can come up with something. Oh, San Francisco's pulled ahead again. Not sure when that happened. Sometime recently. So, minute and 37 seconds. I wonder how long this is going to take. Oh, minute and 32 seconds. I think that's what bothers me about football. It's like they'll go for like 5 seconds and then stop. Can't you just like play the game? I don't understand. I mean, I know why. I've had it explained to me and I know how the game works thanks to Football 101 at Colorado State University. Oh, the clock is stopped again. Just play the damn game. But I can't write Kansas City off because there's 48 seconds left on the clock. And I think we had less than that in 1986. And yeah, the reason they called it a tie was the ref had quit watching the game because there were only a few seconds left on the clock. And our guy made a touchdown. Got the ball, ran like crazy, and made a freaking touchdown. And the game was not tied, except he's like, oh, I didn't see the touchdown. So he didn't count it in the score. And yes, I am still upset about this. That was 1986, and I'm still not happy. But at least, you know, the Camdenton people were like, yeah, we saw it. You're right. You won. Everyone but the ref saw it. And we're still, 40 seconds. We're moving again. No. Oh. I don't know. So what all have you been doing? Have you been reading or watching the news or watching the game? Yeah, at this point, you know, it's like I'd rather be watching the game than the clock because but yeah, my guess is that San Francisco is going to win. Oh well. Sorry, Taylor. Of course, I'm going to have to look up what Taylor Swift was wearing and everything because that's important. And no, I'm not a Swiftie, but sometimes I think maybe I should be. She actually seems like a really cool person, and yeah, I'm happy for her that this is all working out nicely. But I will go ahead and stop sharing. Oh, we got somebody else joining us for the last 16 seconds of the game. Yeah, and no, I'm not watching the game. I'm just watching the clock on the scoreboard on what website? Oh, on Google's website. But yeah, 9 seconds. But yeah, I was just wondering what everyone was up to, if they were actually watching the game or just hanging around, reading, watching other TV, playing video games, whatever. But I hope whatever you were doing that you had a good time tonight on Superb Owl Sunday. And I'll probably do something like this next year. And let's see, I've been talking about the March Mystery Madness that I'm trying to find books to fit prompts for. And in May, I will be doing my Mysterious Mayhem readathon. So be prepared for that. So sometime in early April, I'll get that together and announce all the specifics for that. Okay, we were at 9 seconds. Why are we now at 10 seconds? Is Google's scoreboard just broken? I don't know. Actually, the game is probably over, and you're probably sitting there going, San Francisco won. Why are you still looking at that stupid clock? I don't know. But yeah, that's strange. But 6 seconds. Shall we try for 14 seconds? Yeah. Yeah. Not gonna do any more sprints. Uh, yeah, I'm ready to go stretch my legs and get something a little more nutritious than chip and dip, and yeah, something a little more true food like. All right. Oh, 3 seconds. It's tied. 19-19 with 3 seconds on the clock. Okay, so now what do they go into overtime for the Super Bowl? Will they go into overtime? Because they told us, since the game was tied, we figured, well, it'll at least go into overtime, right? But no, at least at the high school level for state championships, they would not go into overtime. It was a rule, and it's like that's a really stupid rule. They would rather have a tie on the record books, and I'm like, what? I'm tempted to go check Twitter. And no, I will not call it X. I will call it Twitter until it dies. Okay. I don't know what to do. Huh. So are any of you actually watching the game? Yeah. Well, I hope you got in some good activity of whatever it is you were wanting to do. All right. 0-0. It is tied. So now what? Now what? End of reg. So I guess they're going to go into overtime. Uh, all right, I'm going to close this out and let y'all go continue with whatever you're doing or go watch the overtime if the overtime happens. And just I don't know, this is interesting. I kind of hope they just leave it as a tie. Like, yeah, it was good enough for high school football in 1986. It's good enough for now. And that was at Arrowhead Stadium. So, yeah, in 1986. Yeah, so I marched a halftime show at Arrowhead Stadium. That was a long time ago. Oh, all right. I am going to close this down. And thank you for joining me for whatever you joined me for. And I hope that you found the sprints at least somewhat useful or fun. And yeah, I'll probably do something else like this in the future, but not exactly like this. This was sort of a last minute plan and just kind of like, hey, let's do Superb Owl Sunday. And yeah, we'll call it a night and we'll go see what happens. with the sports ballers. Good night. Talk at you later.